Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. We are starting a little later than normal, and I forgot to say something about it, but I have had a lot going on today. It's been a busy day, so hi, Fanatic. So those of you that are here right now, it's a really big help, especially because I'm starting late. If you would, wherever you're watching, copy that link and share it literally everywhere. That is a really huge, big help. Especially, in this day and age, when, you pretty much have to rely on people sharing your stuff. You can't really grow organically. So the shares really help. Twitch viewers, don't forget your view won't count unless you interact in some way. That's what channel points are for if you don't feel like chatting. And, yeah, and if you're on YouTube or Rumble, you should leave a like because that also helps. So I'll be honest, this week has been very long and very exhausting. So I didn't have a whole lot of a plan for today. Because it's just one of those days. But, and I have been, hey Shadowfox, I have been very, very busy all day long today for a Friday. The reason I started late is because I got home 15 minutes before stream was supposed to start. So I am very low on caffeine and nicotine. So for at least the start of this stream, I'm going to sit here and have a cigar and some coffee and hopefully, build up my energy. Which this isn't really a huge cigar. It won't take me too long to get through it. But that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm getting it nice and toasted right now. Did you see Hoffman's new design? I saw something a little bit about it. I was thinking maybe I haven't seen his video or anything. Maybe we could check that out. That might be a fun thing to do today. So wow. I don't normally smoke cigars in the house, but I needed this. So this will probably take it's not a huge cigar, but it'll probably take me like an hour. So we got an hour just here and yapping at least before I do anything else. But yeah, how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good start to your weekend so far. I am hey Metal. I am very much ready. Very much ready for the weekend. I'm not going to do anything tomorrow because it was a long week. It was very busy. Not like bad, but very busy. So I was very tired. That's why I didn't stream yesterday because I was just so tired. But it's all right. I don't have any obligations as far as I know for the weekend, so I can just chill now, which is what I need. Should aim for healthier lungs, Jay. Apparently, Aeon, you don't know about cigars. Thanks for the follow on Kick, Tomcax. You don't know about cigars because you don't inhale cigars, Aeon. They're not, in fact, inhaling any smoke makes me cough like crazy, which is why I like cigars and not cigarettes. So now I'm sure probably because I'm smoking inside today. Yeah, I probably am going to inhale some of this smoke, but it's normally outside. This is not a normal occurrence. I mean, I am technically renting this house, but the people that own it want me to buy it, so. Wasn't even at work for more than 40 minutes for some Karen drove up to me and started chimping out about something that was a fun start to your work day. What do you do where that's just something that can happen to you, Shadow? Like, I'm glad I don't have to worry about stuff like that at my job. I mean, I have to worry about autistic people all day long, but at least I don't have to deal with Karens getting angry over some nonsense. You don't actually have to tell me what your job is, Shadow Fox. You don't have to post your job on the internet, but I am genuinely curious. I'm guessing maybe some kind of retail or somewhere you have to deal with customers, which is never a good time. Spend your holiday messing with your shit box that doesn't run. Oh yeah. Any luck with that? Any luck with that? Metal? You told me about it. You told me about it Monday or Tuesday. Well, I don't remember what other day I streamed this week. You told me about it. That your car messed up. Listen, AI, out of all of the things I could do to myself, some nice premium tobacco is one of the least bad things. Taking it to a mechanic tomorrow. Okay, well, hopefully it's a reliable, trustworthy mechanic. I don't know how things work in Brazil, but in the States, you have to be careful about what mechanics you go to because they're not always very trustworthy. I remember, speaking of untrustworthy mechanics, I remember one time, I think my dad was getting something, had to have something fixed on his truck, and our normal guy that we go to, I mean, he does most things, but not everything, because they primarily do like tires and some engine work. I don't remember, but I think my dad needs something to do with like the doors or something electrical on his truck, right? And he went to this other mechanic, and they said, okay, we'll take the truck. They said, okay, we'll check it out at 1 o'clock or whatever they told him, and you can come get it, and we'll let you know. Okay. He says, okay, they're gonna check it out, and then I'll come by and see what they say, right? So he gets to this mechanic, and they said, oh, well, this is what we're gonna need to do to it. This is what we're gonna need to do to it. But we'll have to do it later or whatever. She said, and the checkout fee is like $200. My dad's like, the fuck you mean a checkout fee? Right? Quick. He said it a lot more eloquently because my dad is a very good person, but they made it sound like they were going to look and see what the issue is and then tell him what needed to be fixed. Right? And they're like, oh no, it's a checkout fee for you to take your truck back. And he got very mad at them for that. So yeah, you can't always trust mechanics. So messing with your oxygen intake is like playing dominoes. I don't mean the pizza chain. Listen. The 99% of my nicotine intake is outdoors, and I don't inhale. Your vice is eating food like there's free healthcare. See, like, arguably, being, eating too much, I think is probably worse for you. So, but sometimes I eat too much and sometimes I forget to eat. So, like, I don't do very good in that department either. I've gone a few days forgetting to eat before. Usually on a weekend because I don't have to go anywhere. Here's an unwritten rule: you only go to a mechanic recommended by someone you trust. That's a good rule. That's usually how I do it as well. But I wish I was more car inclined. Like, I just never got the car autism. My grandpa really had it though. When I was younger, my grandpa used to take me to like car shows, right? And it'd be much like older cars. And He could look at a car, just glance at it, and he could tell you the make, the model, the year, the trim level. He could tell you what the year model before it looked like. He could tell you what the year model after it looked like. He had all of this knowledge of cars. I had no idea where he got it from. That was just his thing. And I always thought it would be so cool for me to like have that kind of knowledge for cars, but that kind of stuff just never stuck with me. Car autism is the most expensive one. Well, I would say probably airplane autism would probably be the most expensive one. If you were someone that owned airplanes. But yeah, car autism is probably pretty expensive. But I remember because my grandma would tell me stories about, my grandpa when he was young. It was like, I don't know, like in the 50s or whatever when he was young. I don't remember. But him and he had a group of friends, and they all had the car autism, right? So they would literally just at random, they would swap titles with each other, like they're trading Pokemon cards, and just trade cars with each other all the time. Now, I couldn't imagine doing something like that in the modern day, but that was just a thing that they would do back then. Gun autism is pretty expensive. That is also pretty expensive, especially if you're into really expensive guns. But trading cars like that does sound pretty fun. That is true. Especially because back then cars were all cars were classy. Like they're all trying to look nice and fancy, You'll be in private. Which of your grandparents are still around? None of them. I have no grandparents left. I haven't had. I think my grandma my last grandma passed in 2016 or 2017. So yeah, I don't have any grandparents left. Twitter pays you now. That is nice. Twitter used to pay me. They did send me a payout last month, actually. Apparently 15 million Twitter impressions gets you about $40 on Twitter. And I didn't get a payment for Twitter for months until I sent the premium support a message, and then I got a payment. So I don't know. They also fixed the issue where I couldn't see people using my art hashtag on Twitter after I sent them a message. So I'm pretty sure my account had some kind of limiter on it. It might still, I don't know, but some stuff got fixed when I messaged them. How old was she when she passed? I don't remember exact ages, but all of my grandparents passed in their mid to late 70s. So, all of my grandparents, well, my granddad on my dad's side passed at 64. But all my other grandparents was mid to late 70s. So, I'm really hoping, my dad's getting kind of close. I'm really hoping my dad lives past 64, because then that would probably be good news for me. So, also, I want my dad to be around like forever. So, maybe I need to rage bait on Twitter to make my car the missile I want it to be. Rage bait does seem to get a lot of attention on Twitter these days. So. Everybody in your family goes to 90 to 110. I'll be honest, if I could live that long, I would, just because I want to see what happens. As long as I don't have like Alzheimer's or some shit. I like to see the trajectory of humanity. You know, your knees already hurt. Stubbs, I have been living in constant pain since I was 19 years old. You get used to it after a while. Constant back pain ever since I injured myself. And a messed up leg that I injured when I was around 19 as well. You get used to it. Grandma went to 94. The state she was in was sad. That's true, yeah. Eventually, you know, it obviously is not worth it anymore. But if I could be like cognizant at like 100 years old, you know, I would do it. I get curious. I'm curious about the world. Like, I want to see if AI becomes truly intelligent, and I want to see if it goes like the route of like Mass Effect or like the route of like Terminator or some shit. I want to know. I want to know if aliens exist. I want to know. Like, I want to know all that stuff. Really want to know your grandpa is a really cool dude from what I told. Yeah, my grandpa on my dad's side, the one that passed at 64, he died when I was really young. So I don't have a lot of memories of him. But I have a lot of memories of my other grandparents. But Aeon does have a point. If you have any grandparents still around, be grateful for them. And parents, too. I guess I'm kind of lucky because the house I live in is like within walking distance to my parents if I want. So even though like all of my siblings are not around or like not in close contact, at least I'm still near my parents. So do you see the rage bait gun tier list? No, Stubbs, send it to me and we'll look at it. Dude, send it to me, we'll look at it. All mine lived between 80s and 90s. Pot went at 52 because he'd been smoking since he was 12. Wow. That's nuts. I'm pretty sure all of my grandparents smoked. But I know that all of them also quit cold turkey when they were like, when they started having kids. Which probably explains why like me and my dad have a really high, like my dad especially has a really high nicotine tolerance. Like there's this cigar, it's called the Lunatic. Stubbs, I don't know if the link's gonna work. List it now. Send it to me on Twitter. Send it to me on Twitter or in Discord, and I'll pull it up in a minute. Like my dad, like me and my dad will hang out like sometimes over the weekends. Like he really likes the fact that I have like my outdoor TV and stuff. So my dad will come over to my house, and we'll like watch a movie or something and smoke cigars, right? And one time my dad had this cigar. It's called the Lunatic, right? It's the biggest cigar you can buy in America. And I have no idea. It's like a cartoonishly big cigar. Like it literally looks like a giant cartoon cigar. And I don't know how he's able to smoke that entire thing, but it doesn't bother him at all. But yeah, Stubbs, either Discord or Twitter. Twitter would be most convenient if it's a post on Twitter. And we'll look at that. We'll look at some things. Because I do want to look at I want to look at that new Hoffman thing as well. Well, Stubbs, you're not really supposed to smoke indoors. I'm only doing that because I didn't have time today. And I really needed some tobacco. Oh. Tobacco is like, for me, what I assume caffeine is for normal people. So, Hoffman vids in the gun channel. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, we'll we'll look at some stuff. So since I'm just sitting here and yapping, so all right, I guess I'll pull up Discord. All right, we'll look at this rage bait thing first. Let me, you know, we'll go to the this other. Hang on. Let me see. Need to. No, that's not it. I always forget. There we go. There we go. That way y'all still hear the music. Caffeine for ADHD is just a hard accelerant. That's true. That's true. Caffeine doesn't really do a lot for me. All right, I'll pull this up on this screen, and we'll look at Lady Huathrin. Who is this person? I'm not familiar with this person, but we'll look at this rage bait gun tier list. Let me let's see. Just want to make sure it looks okay. Hold on. There we go. That works. Cool. Have an awful clip from this stream too. What do you mean? Awful clip. All right, I'll look at this rage bait. We'll see why it's considered rage bait. We'll go. You know, should we start at the top or start at the bottom? What do y'all think? Top or bottom, chat? Top or bottom? Let me know. Bottom because J-Maz. You know what, studs? For that, we're starting at the top. We're starting at the top, motherfucker. Alright, no, we're starting at the top. Fuck y'all. Alright. So obviously, up here is the best, and down is... It's a World War gun. What? Okay. Alright. Oops, your finger slipped? Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay, AK-74, M1 Garand. I mean, I agree with the M1 Garand. Red 92. Browning, Colt Python. 1911, G3, MP5, USP. I mean, I understand, like, why all these are in this category. They're very recognizable. So I understand why she did this. Where's the rage bait part? Innovated and influential. The BAR is probably innovative and influential. I would say that. And the high power. Auto 5, yeah. I don't know enough about revolvers to know if... I mean, the Nagant was a good revolver. You're a top guy yourself? Are you, Shadow? Do we believe that? I personally believe that everyone who watches my streams has something wrong with them. So, FG42, those are just kind of funny. Lewis gun, Glock 19. I mean, Glock was innovative 40 years ago. I mean, but you know, they've been making the same thing ever since. Don't get me wrong, I like Glocks. My 3D printed Glock is, you know, on my desk just in case something ever happened. But they're definitely, I mean, yeah, innovative influential 40 years ago. G36. I mean, I just honestly not this specific G36 with the original, but like I think it's like the G36C and the other one that's basically the newer G36s. I think look cool. You know, especially the ones that take Stanag mags. The newer ones that when you swap out the magwell for one that doesn't use proprietary magazines, fantastic. Glock has done more experimentation with finish and barrel construction than anybody, including HK. Man, I'm just saying, like, Glock really struck gold, and they just kind of stuck to that formula. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maxim gun, MG34. So far, this is pretty reasonable. Is that supposed to be a chopper rhino? I wouldn't say it's super influential or anything, but it does. I think the chopper rhino is cool because it's, you know, like space revolver, you know. They changed the Gen 5 away from polygonal rifling because stupid people don't understand it. Well, I like Glocks because they go bang. Oh, it's McDoctor Glock. Funny that you would be here. Almost bought an SL8 back in the day at the gun show for $800. Felt nice till he tried to sell me a special mags for $100 each. Yeah, no, proprietary magazines are garbage. So just there we go. People kept calling to return them because they thought it wasn't rifling. Huh. Only Hangout ever come without rifling is the Polish Colt. I mean, wouldn't that be illegal? An unrifled handgun? Yeah, proprietary magazines are terrible. Nobody likes them. But I also don't like it when everything takes Glock mags as well. So. I mean, I'm not seeing the rage bait. It's just good. M240, Benelli M4, Bren gun. I would really like to have, like, the ability. I would love to have the opportunity to shoot a Bren gun at some point. Because they're just so, like, smooth looking, you know? Just from what I've seen, they just look so nice and well made. And plus the top mag is funny. 1919, that's literally just a scaled down M2, basically. Colt Walker, those are cool. Cap and ball revolvers are cool. I kind of want one. I want a cap and ball revolver. MP5K. MP5Ks just have aura. I don't care if they have the same ballistics as a Glock. MP7s look cool. The PSG one, like, Call of Duty made it famous, basically. Pretty sure it was in one of the Call of Duties. PCAM, RPD. Funny AKs, basically, both nice. I know the PCAM does not use AK action, but it's still Russian. So, I think the PK should be higher. Ruger, SIG P228, Schofield, Scorpion. Yeah, those. So far, nothing is rage baiting me yet. PKM's the same action upside down. Novelty, AN94. AN94s are so cool. I have to say, though, like, the offset magazine would probably piss me off if I was ever trying to, like, actively use one, you know? So, where's the 5.7? I haven't seen it yet. AS Val is basically just very similar to the, you know, VSS, so. Why do you keep pausing my music, Spotify? Stop it. Anyway. RPGs are way different than AKs, remember, right? Yeah, they probably are, but If it's Russian, you can call it an AK, and it's just funny to do that. Recently bought MP57 things makes a Glock feel broke. Well, yeah, the ammo's stupidly expensive for no reason. 93R, I wouldn't say 93R is just a novelty, but that's only because I feel like I should be allowed to own one without question. Another chopper rhino? Okay. Derringer. My grandma, we're talking about grandparents earlier. My grandma just straight up just had a little Derringer like that. I think it was like literally like her grandfather's, and she kept it in like a little jewelry box in her room. I'm sure a 5.7 is fun to shoot. But I don't want to have to take out a second mortgage just to buy ammo for it and go to the range. DP27, those are just funny because of the magazines. Palm pistol. I would not trust a palm pistol. Not gonna lie. I would not trust a palm pistol. It's 40 cents a round now, friend. I mean, that's better. That is better, I will say. But I'd rather buy 5.56 for 45 cents a round. So, well rods are interesting. I find well rods to be really interesting, in my opinion. They were an interesting application in quad rocket launch. Quad rocket launchers just have aura. Like, if you have one of these, like, you're that guy if you have a quad rocket launcher. You can't stick an AR-15 in your pocket. As much as I love the AR-15, you're right, I don't have to stick an AR-15 in my pocket. I just carry it. I actually, my 300, I had made a 300 blackout AR that I could fit in the backpack, but I'm probably going to rebuild that at some point, do something different with it. Get a micro AR-15 to get to your AR-15 when the cops stop coming and the monkeys be swinging for the trees. What? All right, next here is It's a Gun. US-18 Tech 9. Tech 9s are fun, but they do have kind of a bad stigma. L86A2. That's the one that is slightly better, right? It was the A1 that was just absolutely terrible. I still wouldn't trust that A2, though. MAC-10s are also fun. It's another gun with some aura to it. Marlin de Grosh. I would want one just because of Tarkov, basically. Because those little things have saved my ass in Tarkov a lot. So. Ruger Mark II, those are just fun. My dad has a couple of those. There's Sterling. Those are basically a Sten gun. I've shot a Sten gun and that was fun. Tokarev, that'd be another. I would say that'd be like a fun novelty to have. I kind of would want one of the Chinese ones that have the black star grip though. The MP9 is the legend. No one seems to recognize them now. I mean, they are cool. I like machine pistols, so I do. I like the MAC-10, MP9. I like machine pistols, so. Used a MAC-11, I'm going to tell you it's a bullet hose, needs more touchy parts for the accurate. Well, there is a lot of nice MAC-11 designs that you can 3D print, and some of them do add more touchy parts that you can hold on to make it more accurate. And I would really love to build one day. But the cheapest you can get, like the upper for it, is like $300, and I don't always have $300 laying around. I'd never have $300 laying around these days. Maybe when gas goes back down, if it ever does, you know. Mac 11 is 12K now because there's a 556 conversion. How would that even work? How would someone do that? It's insane. 3D print. I want a 3D printed MP5 too, but even the parts kit for that's like $1,000, just for the parts kit to 3D print the MP5. So, when did your model become girl? I didn't donate the 1K. I promise. What happened? I mean, if you want to donate 1,000, that'd be great. But that was something completely different. No, this was a model I made for a meme one time, and everybody wanted me to keep it around, so now it's a toggle. So like I can go back and forth, but people can redeem points. So yeah, you can redeem it for 1,000 points to toggle the models. Oh no! Whoa! Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Travis. This model is not a femboy. This is a female android model. The lore behind this model is that they're going to put me in an android body, but got things mixed up and put my brain in this one instead of the cool one with jetpacks and rocket launchers. Okay, so. Don't get it twisted. There's still no femboys here. I mean, some of you in the chat might be. I fully expect some of you in the chat might be, but not on screen. Not on screen. Was the LCR in bad gun territory? It's a good gun. Well, we haven't got to that one yet. We were just getting through this one. No useful application. Well, that's just complete. This entire section is completely wrong. So, like, we got anti-material rifles and scars. Like those do have useful applications. So this is just incorrect. So, they put James into a fembot instead of making him into Atom Smasher from Cyberpunk 2077. Basically, yes. ACR on Girls Frontline is awesome. So yeah, that's an incorrect category. Range bunny. Okay, the Vector, I can agree with that one. But the Vector's cool. So anti-material rifles are good for police helicopters that trespass on your lands. That was something that the feds made up to try to justify murdering a lot of people. That never actually happened. They're more useful against like vehicles and stuff. Or, you know, if you want to vaporize a guy. She put it in there even though she literally has one. Good for renegade buses. You say that, but I got 3 birds under my belt. Okay, sure. Picture didn't happen. It's an AK. Okay, this is going to be a rage bait one, isn't it? The STG-44 came up before the AK, and so did the SKS. So that's obviously incorrect. That's very incorrect. Okay, I can see the rage bait from that. Yeah. Dragunov, I mean, we've got the AK. The Dragunov, they kind of just stretched the AK out to make a Dragunov. That makes sense. That's an AK. The Galil is literally just an AK made by a guy named Balashnikov. It's a knockoff AK by a guy with a knockoff Kalashnikov name. RPK is just slightly bigger AK. Psycho 12 is AK but shotgun, yes. SIG 550, still very much AK internals from what I have seen. So that's true. SVD is short with some style action. We're talking about looks here, it looks like a long AK. Still count. I'm not mad about that one. I also will say VZ58 is an AK because I know it'll piss some people off. I will agree with that. Sig 550 is absolutely an AK and she's hiding her power level. Yeah. VZ58 is an STG. No, it's an AK. Just because that one is funny to piss people off with. That's an AK. And a Bison is literally like a submachine gun AK. So this is definitely rage baity, but it's also like I can agree with some of it, and it is also funny. So Type 99 Airsock is a bad gun. Funny that. I don't know. PP-19 designed by Drogonov's son. Interesting. Bison is AK for road raging. It's an AR. M4A1, yes. 416, yes. 417, yes. LR300, yes. I wouldn't call the USAS-12 an AR, but I've never got my hands on one to like really inspect it, so I wouldn't know. I think those are pretty rare, actually. And then the World War gun category, which I mean, it's true. These all appear to be World War guns, which honestly though, .416 is just an M16, but it's actually fertile. What? F and SCAR and no useful application. Yeah, so that this whole section, that's just rage bait. That whole section is just rage bait. Also, hi Kuromaru. Madsen being low is painful. How old is the person that made this? I don't know. I am not familiar with Lady Catherine. I'm not familiar with her. But I'm sure it was intended to be funny, so. I like her design, chat. Not gonna lie, I like her design. Well, I may have to just Oh, was I already following her? What? It showed I wasn't following. What? Or did I accidentally double click it? I don't know. But nice design. Nice design, chat. But yeah, so yeah, she made this. Airsock is only bad because you can't find ammo. I mean, yeah, ammo is kind of important, so that's a fair point. No, it's funny though. The rage bait parts were funny. Well, I was totally not already following the Big Booba VTuber. I'm not, like it said I wasn't following her when I clicked on it earlier. Right? Or am I mean, I may have, I don't think I was already following. I would remember that. I would remember that. So Picora is better. I do follow Picora. I follow a few Japanese VTubers. Yeah, I gotta say I like her design. Okay, yeah, gun to your list. No, that's the original post. That's funny. But yeah, who doesn't love a good rage bait thing? Play the clip, gamer. Wait, what that hold on, that wasn't a clip. That was just. That's just her like starting screen because when she was streaming. That's not a clip. So. Oh, you sent me something in Discord? Okay, hold on.
Attention all gun group. I have no idea what is inside of an ST4.
Okay, yeah, hold on. I will play this for y'all. Let me see. Alright, turn the volume up. What is this?
Attention all gun gooners. I have no idea what is inside of an STG-44, but it looks like an AK on the outside. If you don't agree with me, you have to come fight me this Sunday. We are throwing down in oil, olive oil, and I brought a strap. Correct me if you dare. My blood alcohol content is 0.2, and I am perfectly angry.
Okay, she's funny. She's funny. Nice design. Nice design, gotta say. Yeah, she's funny. All right. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a troll. Like anyone, like when you, the no useful application or like it's the AK part, if you know anything about guns, that's obviously a troll. So guns fear growing. I mean, there's a lot of VTubers that are into guns. Like, I know quite a few actually. So, oh, I got some ash on my keyboard. Son of a bitch. I have to deal with that later. You know the pink VTuber who likes the guns? You have any idea how little that narrows it down? Anyway, hold on. I had to relight. Because, you know, Pippa likes guns well enough. And I've talked to her about guns before. I recently got acquainted with Celestium, and she says she likes guns. Pippa's a ticking bomb. Oh, she's great. Release you from the Femboy prison. Thank you, Kodomaru. Appreciate it. Forget who it was, but you know me from the kidnapping I stopped. I got a new biker patch. Stop crying, shoot first. Okay. Sounds like an interesting patch. This is the one issue with smoking in the house, is that I can't let the ash build up. So I normally never have to relight a cigar, but I can't let the ash get too big so I don't accidentally drop it. Shouldn't be smoking at all. No. Maybe not. But I will continue to. Because I love the taste of high quality tobacco. I have been through a lot. That's right, Travis. I have been through a lot. Straight up inhale that shit, and this one gave me tinnitus in the first one. You don't inhale cigars, Stubbs. I don't smoke anything that you inhale. Only cigars. Also, I don't normally smoke in the house, but I have been so busy this week. I got home 15 minutes before I started the stream. Okay? I needed this. We had this conversation already. Okay, this is not a. I keep air purifiers in my house like already just for my allergies, so it's not going to be a problem anyway. Sprobe Lab, you know me for years. We've been friends since Brandon's server. I was never in Brandon's server. I think you're in my Discord server, but if you're talking about like Brandon Herrera, I've never been in his server. My background is broken. No, the background looks normal. Talking about, I've got that over there, but that's really the only like convenient place for chat right now. Speaking of backgrounds and stuff, I need to start looking for I need to start looking for someone to like do some more art for me. So I was talking to Hollow Point today, and what if instead of air purifier using air fryer and you filled it with your old underwear, instead of increasing the air quality of the walls, started sweating bright orange grease? What the fuck, Stubbs? That's not what air fryers are for. What the fuck? But yeah, so I was talking to Hollow Point today, and there's no like exact date yet or anything. But it's looking like my live 2D will be done before my stream anniversary. So hopefully he'll have that done before my anniversary. So maybe I could do that as kind of like I can have like the live 2D for my anniversary. But what I want to do is I want to get some more art made, like new backgrounds and some other stuff. But I need to find some people that can do that for me on my budget, for one thing. So I need to ask around some artists or some content creators that I know that maybe could help point me in the direction of some people. Need to start preparing for your no birthday. So I want to get some of that stuff done. I've got a lot of stuff I want to do. Like, there's so much. I want to at least get one or two songs made, like music, like that's for me, for my streams, like maybe like an opening thing. I had kind of started working on something like that, and I had got some stuff, but the guy that was doing that music graduated and it's just gone now. So I can't really get any more stuff from him. But I would like to get some music for me. One of the issues I have, chat, is I don't have time that I want, I need more time, or I need help, you know what I mean? That's why I hate working at Cradles. I have one bad week and just die. Well, I think this guy, I think he was moving on to other things, which, I mean, he is perfectly well within his rights to do. And he delivered what I commissioned from him. But then I changed my mind and he was already gone. So. Hi, player. Also, Stubbs. I'm not gonna say you're forbidden, because far be it for me to forbid anyone's creative outlets, but that's not any kind of art that I would ever pay for. That would have to be out of your own pocket, and you would have to live with the shame of having paid for something like that. Ow. Okay. Anyway. Ooh, this cigar is really nice. I'm down to like the last third of it. It's a La Aurora 115th anniversary edition. I got it really cheap in a pack I ordered online. It's very nice. Hopefully you go to your first comp match at the end of the month. That's cool. You should do that. You should absolutely do that. I haven't done like a lot of competition shooting. Just because there's not a lot of stuff around me, right? That I know of. But I had a cousin that was really into competition shooting, and he set up like some competition courses out on the land that my parents have. So sometimes I'd be out of the cabin, I would like shoot those, but depends on this commercial job you're starting tomorrow. Well, good luck. Favorite Black and Mild? I don't smoke Black and Milds. I mean, I've heard they're okay, but if I'm gonna get something cheap, I'm just gonna wait until I can find a really good deal online. Like, I found a deal online. It was 30 smaller cigars, you know, petite Coronas. What brand were they? I don't remember. They were a nice brand. I think they were like 8 or 10 years aged. It was a pack of 30 for $35. So that'll last me a good while. And that's, you know, like a nice 30-minute cigar, you know. So I have a little bit of the cigar autism, not crazy. But I do have slightly expensive tastes. I don't like cheap shit. So smoking lung champagne. It's not lung champagne because you don't inhale cigars. How many times do I have to say this? It bothers me when people think you're supposed to inhale them. No, that'll make you sick. Need to rip the Band-Aid off and get a driver's license so I can go to college. Whoa. Hold on. Kodamari, did you just say that you don't have a driver's license? You don't have a... How can you be a functional human being and not have a driver's license? That is the most shocking thing I have learned about you. Like, I got my driver's license as soon as I turned 16. And I was driving long before that because you just needed to function where I live. Isn't a driver's license US easy? Oh yeah, absolutely. Walk to work and to go get groceries, Uber everywhere else. Bro, I grew up out in the middle of nowhere. The closest grocery store was 20 minutes away by car. I had to drive. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of where I grew up. Like, you could not be a functional adult without a driver's license. So you're the outlier. Yeah. Well, what else were you thinking about? Oh, right. Let me go look. Let me look at the Hoffman Tactical thing. You can get a rare react slot from me because I do want to actually. I do actually want to see this. The trigger kicker.
Rare breed triggers.
All right, because of course we all know, you know, Hoffman has been dealing with rare breed and their bullshit. So. Let's see. You're getting at least 5. Trigger kicker sounds like a slur. Mandatory fuck rare greedy. Yeah, exactly. All right. Let me we'll pull this up and we'll look at it. We'll look at it.
Rare breed.
Hold on, I need to, let me pause the music. Pause the music so we can hear this. Hoffman is so great. He's such a delightfully autistic guy. All right. Just kind of adjust this. All right. It's a brilliant design. Well, I haven't seen it. I haven't actually seen this yet. So I was at work when all the stuff dropped. So, all right, rare react slop from JMez. This is not something that happens very often. So you're welcome, I guess.
Rare breed triggers sued me for 3 counts of patent infringement, counts of torturous interference, defamation. When you're
Torturous interference? What the hell does that mean? Torturous? Is he saying he's torturing them? What the fuck?
attacked by a bully who relies on DOJ backing rather than innovation, don't play in their sandbox. Rather, out-innovate them. That's why I invented the trigger kicker.
All right, let's. I'm excited for this. So, would you be able to just cut your own? Because if so, that's pretty badass. You got the funny hat on again. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to get a Lima 6 belt fed and put a FRT in it. Could literally be traced from the video.
The trigger kicker is a repeat reset trigger. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's a relatively new term. It's very, very similar to what the Super Safety does, which is active reset. It's basically the same thing, it just does it differently. Active reset, repeat reset, forced reset.
Flat bill hat is funny. It is a little funny. It's funny to me because my dad calls it a go to hell cap. And I don't know why he calls it that. Well, no, he calls it that because his dad called it that. I don't know why his dad called it that, but it's funny. So, which by the way, Lima 6 had his house catch on fire recently. But I think everyone was okay and the damage wasn't super bad. But yeah, that also happened recently.
So it is taking the trigger. It is when the bolt, after the weapon is fired, the bolt comes to the rear. It pushes the trigger into the reset position. It then locks it there on safe until the bolt carrier moves back.
Video's cut off. Not on watch. I'm just making sure. Hold on. Well, there we go. I was just trying to make sure like the taskbar and stuff would be cut off, you know. All right, anyway. Got tired of being the only YouTube chatter. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. More people on Twitch is perfectly fine. Anyway. Hank kill image, look like a jackass. All right, anyway.
Forward again to a position where it's safe to fire, then unlocks the trigger, allowing the user to fire the weapon again. So, pretty common nowadays, probably familiar with it. That's what the trigger kicker does, and just does it in a really simple way.
I hope he filed a patent for this.
The trigger kicker is very simple. All we do is remove the disconnector from the gun and replace it with the trigger kicker.
We'll see what happens with YouTube.
So I've assembled this AR-15 fire control group in a standard aluminum lower. And I'm going to show you how the trigger kicker works.
If it does, who cares?
Then we'll pop the parts out and show you how it works on the inside. So the bolt carrier right here has the rear surface right there and the hammer cam surface right here. When it's installed in the gun, the hammer cam surface contacts the hammer, acting to pivot it to the rear.
Yes, that is how the trigger works.
Contacts the top of the trigger kicker to push the trigger kicker forward. When you first fire the gun, the hammer is cocked and the trigger kicker is being held forward. You pull the trigger.
Patents and IP. He has to file a patent now. Because otherwise Rare Breed would probably go after him again. That's the issue. Like, I'm pretty sure he can also make it like a free open source thing and still have a patent for it. But KAK also released a buffer that includes a reciprocating weight, so you don't have to pay $80 for an H3 buffer. Interesting. It's built into the BCG. Huh, okay. I might look into that. The guy who invented the C-kit belt never patented them. Hmm. Prior art shields from anyone trying to patent this? Maybe. I'm just saying, like, well, someone like did patent fraud on the super safety, and that's why Rare Breed was able to sue him in the first place. So, seatbelt. I was about to say, but what do you mean C-kit belt? You just meant seatbelt. I was like, I thought that was what you might have meant. He should be making money off this, but he should be, but.
Fires, the bolt carrier comes to the rear, and we're continuing to hold the trigger, of course, continuing to pull it. As the hammer comes to the rear, this surface right here, this inclined surface on our mil-spec hammer, contacts the cam follower on the trigger kicker. And you'll be able to see this a little bit better in a minute. It contacts, and then watch my trigger. As it continues, it resets the trigger, and in a simultaneous motion, it slides the trigger kicker underneath our selector switch, locking our trigger. So you can see I am continuing to pull the trigger, but I can't because it's basically unsafe, like a super safety. Now, when this gets pushed forward by that surface on the bolt carrier right there, I'm able to pull the trigger, firing the rifle. I've removed the fire control group from the AR lower so you can see better what's happening. Here we have a trigger. This happens to be a super safety cut trigger, but this has
Wait, so is it
trigger kicker and does not interfere with this function.
So is it replacing the disconnector? Is that what this is doing? His website crashed. Oh, he is selling it. His website crashed from all the traffic. That's fantastic. You'll need a good name brand selector that is hardened. I mean, that probably wouldn't be too. That would probably wouldn't be too bad though. Replacers to disconnectors. The disconnector's not needed. Okay. Very interesting.
Standard mil-spec trigger will work just fine. The trigger kicker sits in the disconnector slot. The disconnector spring is removed along with the disconnector. It sits right there.
No disconnector spring.
I'm going to put the pin in so it stays in position. Now, the trigger kicker can slide forward and backwards. The front end is a slot, not just a hole. Slides forward and backwards, and it can pivot up and down.
This is a genius design. It's so simple.
When the weapon is fired, the trigger kicker is held in the forward position. That's the ready state. The selector switch, right here, has a curved surface and a flat surface on the bottom. This is a standard mil-spec selector switch. When it's set to safe, that curved surface there prevents the trigger from being pulled at all. When it's set to
he just said that's just got a mil-spec
that flat
selector there.
a pocket for the trigger tail to move upwards and into, allowing the trigger to be pulled. In the trigger kicker, it continues to do that. However, it serves a secondary function. The lock step of the trigger kicker is this small stair step right there. That lock step is able to slide underneath the selector switch, basically effectively extending the tail of the trigger upwards so that the trigger cannot be pulled, even when the selector switch is on fire. Now, going back to our order of operation we started in, the bolt carrier group is forward, it's contacting the top of the kicker, sliding it forwards, such that lock step is not underneath the...
So what I'm wondering is there a way that this would be able to work with a three selection, so with a 3-point selector, right? I don't know, because that's one of the things I liked about the original Super Safety, which is what I want, because you could have semi-auto and then forced reset. He is working on it? Okay, because that is something I really liked about the original Super Safety, because you had the 3 positions. So that's pretty cool. If he's working on it, I am excited for this. I will probably try to get one of these eventually. I would really love to put one on a Lima 6 belt fed, but I just want one of these in general.
Flat portion of the safety selector, like that. This way, the lock step is not acting as an extension of the trigger tail, and you can pull the trigger no problem.
I like how simple this is.
The hammer falls.
You could just drop this into anything.
Fires. The hammer then gets pushed rearward by the hammer cam surface on the bolt carrier, and the cam surface of the hammer, this incline right here, contacts the cam follower, that bump right there on the kicker, like so.
I'm excited to see if this will work. I'm excited to see if people will figure out a way to make this work with anything that uses a AR trigger. So simple a caveman can do it. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm pretty excited for this. like what? Oh, what did I just do? Son of a bitch! How did I do that?
Hold this trigger kicker reset. The kicker is unable to slide rearward because at this time the trigger is pulled and this lock step is actually resting against the curved surface of the safety selector.
How did I also? How did I just like accidentally reset the video? I was brushing my desk off. What the hell? I'm not good at React Slop, as you can see. I don't do it very often.
This trigger kicker cannot slide rearward because it contacts the safety selector. So what happens?
Well, yeah, I know.
Can't slide rearward.
I know with it's not going to work right now because of the hammer ramp, but I hope someone's able to figure that out because I want to put one of these in something that shoots 9mm, so I can have. I like submachine guns and machine pistols, chat. I need that fix in my life.
It must pivot down. So the kicker pivots down. The heel of the kicker, right here, contacts the floor of the trigger slot, which causes the trigger to move into the reset position. Now, once the trigger is in the reset position, the lock step drops below this flat surface on the safety selector and is no longer prevented from moving rearward. The path of least resistance suddenly becomes sliding rearward movement, which slides the trigger kicker underneath the safety selector, effectively locking the trigger in the safe position.
Okay, we've seen this part, so we'll just...
The user mind force of the user pulling the trigger, pinching the trigger kicker against the safety selector is what keeps the trigger kicker from moving back out as the bolt carrier returns forward. So the entire time the bolt carrier moves forward, the hammer begins to rotate back upwards and is caught on the trigger, like so. So the firearm is now in the reset position. You're ready to pull the trigger again if it was safe to do so. But the firearm continues to be locked on safe by the trigger kicker. The bolt carrier continues moving forward until it moves into battery, at which point it contacts the top of the trigger kicker, sliding the trigger kicker forward, moving that lock step out from underneath the safety selector, unlocking the trigger, allowing the user, if they choose to do so, to pull the trigger again, firing the rifle and repeating the cycle. The trigger kicker is available right now. You can find it by Googling the channel name. It'll bring things up and you'll be able to get there. Don't want to say anything too much. This is YouTube. You can check out these awesome shirts pretty soon. I'm going to be having them coming. There's a few different versions.
Very cool. I like that. And as soon as I have... As soon as I have an extra $40 laying around, I'm going to get one. That is exciting. Problem I've observed so far with the 9mm platforms is that they don't have enough pressure to cycle reliably and takes a lot of tuning. Well, yeah, like if you're gonna do anything with like a 9mm, it's gonna need special versions of stuff, you know. So, you know, that is I'm very excited. I'm very excited for that. That is super cool. Right now, all of my spare money is going to be going towards stream stuff, but I may try to get one of those some point pretty soon. So, that is super exciting. Fortunately, my binary trigger won't work in your AR9. Binary triggers are also fun, but that is really cool. I love that because that is such a cool innovation. And like when you see it, like it's so simple, but I bet that took a lot of design and research and stuff. That is really cool. Force reset binary trigger. Good lord. Blowback now on YouTube is a good source for AR9 stuff. Interesting. I may have to look at that. So, my money is tied up this weekend on bills, gas, and cat food. I know, right? Dude, gas is killing me right now. I don't have to drive that far for work, but it's still like, it's still enough to where gas is really hurting me. So I hope that gets fixed really soon. Okay, I'm about to smoke this thing down to the cap, so we're done with that. So, the night is still young. And I kind of want to keep yapping, but I also kind of want to play a game. You have to pick up your coworkers? Oh, that sucks. I kind of want to play a game. So, what I think I'm going to do here is, I think for YouTube, I'm going to start a separate stream because you know what? We had a fun time we had a fun time chatting and playing Subnautica the other day. I kind of want to just do that. So I'm going to create a separate stream on YouTube. Just because, let's see. I'm gonna start a separate YouTube stream for Subnautica. Just so I can have, I like to have separate VODs for stuff, because I am trying now that I'm back using YouTube, I missed having VODs saved for stuff. So I want to do that. So I'm gonna send you on YouTube over to another stream, and I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll come back, and I am going to play Subnautica, and we'll continue yapping about gun stuff or whatever. So let's see. I think I can just send everyone on YouTube over to the new stream. I think. Hold on.
ATF! Come out with your hands up!
Oh, hello, Cozy Cryptid. That is one hell of a name. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. I'm James the Gunsmith VTuber. We've been yapping about gun stuff, and we're going to continue yapping, but I'm about to take a quick break. I know you just got here. I'm going to be doing my Lost at Sea LARP playing Subnautica, but I'm just getting things fixed on the YouTube side. Cabaret, thank you so much. Welcome in. Hope you had a great stream. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, good weekend so far. Let me see. I think, yeah, for the YouTube stream, I just need to do this. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Yes. Hello, Raiders. Welcome. I am really quick. I know. I'm sorry. I saw you just got here. Hang around if you want to. I'm going to be back in like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to mess around in the ocean and continue yapping. So don't go anywhere. And actually, if you haven't yet, perfect time for you to copy that link to the stream and share it with literally everyone you know. Spread it like propaganda. So that's really helpful. She's talking about probably the worst serial killers. Wow. We're talking about 22 guns. Oh, very cool. 22 guns and serial killers. That's interesting. I listen to serial killer documentaries just so I know what to look out for. If I ever see a creepy guy, I know what to look out for. And so I can just go ahead and blow his shit smooth off. Let me... all right, I think if I do this, I can go ahead and send everyone on YouTube just to the next one, I think. I think that'll work.